All right, here we go. Quiet! Roll 'em!
The Poison Rose was directed by George Gallo and stars John Travolta, Morgan Freeman, Brendan Fraser, and Famke Janssen. John Travolta in this movie plays a private investigator who takes on a case where he has to go back to his hometown. He's looking for this one missing person, and while he's there, stuff with his past come back, different characters from his past come back. He's a retired football star, then he went on to do his own thing. All different characters come back to his life and intervene with this case. Now this movie was fine, it was okay, it was just, the movie doesn't get you as invested as I think it should. At times this movie takes itself too serious instead of having a bit more fun. And also sometimes it doesn't know where to want to go with the characters, and it doesn't give enough time to really flesh out characters. Like for example Morgan Freeman's character. You don't really know anything about this character except for him being rich and having some connections. Like you never really flesh out his character and the characters between him and John Travolta and how they interact. It's like, it doesn't really make sense at the end. It's like, what? That's okay, I guess we're going with that. It's like a lot of this stuff, like the character, especially John Travolta's character, you find out, and it's more the typical stuff, you know, he's an alcoholic, he drinks and stuff we've seen so many times, but it's like, they don't do nothing interesting with the John Travolta's character. Now the performances are good in the movie, there are no bad performances in this movie, but the characters don't get enough development in this movie, so the characters feel bland and flat and boring. You know, they're not interesting, you're not really that investigated into this movie. It's same with Famke Janssen. Her character got a little bit more development in the movie, and her character got a little bit more fleshed out because of her being the past love interest of John Travolta. And how that aspect actually went out good in the movie, like their relationship with each other going back and forth, that was actually nicely done. The best part of this movie is Brendan Fraser. He just has the best character, and I really think he got the right point on how to do this character and what this movie should have been. This movie should have been a little bit more fun, you know, instead of taking itself so seriously, which is really unnecessary because Brendan Fraser plays this corrupt doctor, which is just the best. He's just like this weird, creepy doctor, and he was just, every time he's on screen, it was just a blast. He got the part right on what the whole movie should have been. Like a little bit more lightheartedness. They take it so seriously, but it doesn't feel as serious because, you know, you don't have no real development. The movie never builds up to anything. Like for example, the third act is just, yeah, let's just have a third act. Let's have this in a third act because that's in every typical thriller movie. It's like, it's nothing. This movie feels like very, I don't know why, because you have such a great cast. You have a story we've seen before, but you can do something new, some twists. Like, make more of the characters a little bit more creepy, different. For example, you have this one cop character who's just basically the whole time saying, well, that's how things are done here. It's like, that's no excuse. It's just like something like they try to build like this town is run by one person where creepy stuff happens and everything, but they never really flesh out that. There are so many different storylines which they never finish. They have the past love story, then they have his case going on, then they have this missing person, then you have the sort of drug lord up in there, and it just gets a little too much. Then the characters don't get the screen time, so it kind of becomes a big mishmash of this movie. But like I said, the movie had some positives, like the relationship with John Travolta and Famke. That was done in a good way. Brendan Fraser was fun in the movie. And the movie is okay. The movie is watchable. It's not like if you watch this movie, oh, why did I watch that? The movie is fine. The movie has some fun moments in this movie, but it could have been so much more. This movie was just a letdown, you know? And I give this movie a 4 out of 10. The Poison Rose. Go see it if you want. It's a fine thriller. It's not that exciting or giant or, you know, or really comedic or any part. It's just fine. It's just something we've seen a lot of times, just with John Travolta and Morgan Freeman in it. But I would see it because Brendan Fraser he's just hilarious in this movie. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you next time.
What?